Adding to the resource typing structure. Organization administrators will have the ability to add new resource definitions and types to the typing structure. We recommend that this be done in collaboration with other system stakeholders. Please review the Understanding Resource Typing video as a prerequisite to this tutorial. As a quick review, let's walk through the basic items that make up resource typing. The most detailed level is the resource type, and each inventory item must be tied to a resource type. Multiple types are more broadly defined by their resource definition. Definitions may be tied to multiple categories and a single kind. In this tutorial, we want to add a new set of resource types to define various personal flotation devices that we know several organizations want to record from their inventory. First, let's scan the typing tree to see if we can find an existing definition. We don't see anything applicable in the tree. Just to be sure, we will use the typing search to search for the PFDs. First, we will search on a few keywords. That didn't return any results. Let's look at all of the definitions with a kind equal to equipment. Quite a few to look at, so we will group the data by category. This lets us scan a little more quickly. Public Works has several pages of definitions, so we will click for each. We haven't found any existing definitions, so let's go ahead and start adding. It's a good idea to prepare your data in advance. Setting up a new resource definition and type may require some research. The template we used here is based on the format typical in the NIMS Tier 1 documents. Our first step is to add a resource definition. To do that, we need to go to the Resource Definition list in the typing menu. Clicking on the Add Resource Definition button will display a pop-up to capture the required fields. We give the definition a name that will be applicable across all of its types. Select the kind of equipment. Let's select Search and Rescue for the category. We can add more categories in a moment. Clicking Save opens the New Resource Definition Detail page. Note that we do not have related types yet. We will do that after finishing the descriptive data for the definition. This is a good time to enter keywords that will help with any future search. Let's look at the panels on the right, starting with hazards. We can tie this definition to applicable hazards. We will select several of the water-based hazards here. Now let's add some additional categories in addition to Search and Rescue that we chose earlier. We can also select a new primary category if preferred. In the next panel, we want to define the types of attributes or characteristics that will be used to describe and distinguish between the types. If you remember on our worksheet, we had a number of attributes listed. Click on Add Attribute to add each one here. You can select the type of component and a metric if applicable. We have a resource definition completely set up. Let's click Save. Before continuing, let's search for the definition using one of the new keywords. We will try Life Vest, since that's not a word in the name. Our definition is found. Click on the definition name to open the detail page. We are now ready to add our first resource type by clicking the Add Resource Type link. The pop-up appears to collect required fields. Enter the name and label. The label tends to be a Roman numeral, consistent with NIMS. This can be any label, however. The quantity units field defines the unit of measure for the quantity specified on any related inventory. The units are defined here so that there is consistent entry later that can be summed across organizations. We can also enter comments or a description here. Click Save to continue. Now we see the full resource type page. Note that the related definition is shown with a link that returns to the definition page. Let's add a URL to a photo for this type. The attribute table shows the characteristics that we defined on the definition page. Now we need to enter the values for this type, values that will distinguish it from other types. We can add a value and comments for each attribute. Let's go back to our definition. When you weren't looking, we added a few more types. Now I would like to add some related inventory. There are two ways to do this, and we'll show you the easy way first. We open our Type 2 PFD and click on the Add Related Inventory link. From here we can start to add a new inventory item. Once I enter some basic data, it will normally prompt for a resource type. However, here we see that our Type 2 PFD has been pre-selected because we came from the typing page. Alternatively, we could have added from the inventory menu. In that situation, this type would be cleared out, and we would use the kind and category values to narrow down the drop-down list. Entry of the inventory would proceed as normal. Let's do a final search of the resource types, this time using some of the hazards and categories we selected earlier. You see that our types are returned. Take a look at our hazard and category values. These reflect the primary settings for those values. We were still able to find them, however, by searching on the non-primary values. Let's open up one of the types to get a final look. This completes the Adding to the Typing Structure tutorial. Additional information is available from the Help buttons on each screen in R.I.C.H.